All right, test. 1 2 1 2. Can you guys hear me? Let me know. Is it lagging bad? Is it looking good? Let me know. It looks like we got a little bit of lag, but frankly, the part of town I live in, we got hit pretty bad lately, and we actually lost some connection speed. So I think it's about that time that I finally upgrade to fiber. I think it's time. So let me clear the stats, but we got Twitter's good, YouTube's good, and Twitch is good. Mike's good. Mike is crispy. All right, let's go. Oh, so welcome. It's the Rainbow Trends weekly stream. We do it every Thursday. I would stream more if I could, but full-time engineer, full-time dad, full-time dev, and apparently YouTuber now. But we do this every Thursday, 8 p.m. normally. I had a technical difficulty today, so we had to start a little late. But we do this every day or every week at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. We hang out here for about an hour, and then we go hang out in the Discord, and we open mic the Discord, and we talk alpha, we talk trucks, we talk politics. Not really, we do, but we talk anything you guys want to talk about: whales, crypto, trading, coding. You want to learn anything from the OGs? And hell, I spend a lot of time listening in there with the dudes because you think I'm the smartest dude in the bunch. No, my OGs are the guys I lean on. So they teach me a lot, and they teach me more about my tools sometimes than I thought I knew. So shout out to them. Like I said, if you guys want to find out any of our information or our Discord links are kind of hard to find sometimes with Discord being goofy. I'll drop it in the chat. If you go to our website, rainbow-trends.com, it's all there. You can find all about us and what we do. And if you're curious why any of my charts look the way they do, I got mad at whales a long time ago, got left in the dust, and got mad and went looking for my own tools because I found out the tools out there weren't that good. So kicking it off, I'm biased. I'm talking codes and tools. But there's Rainbow Theory and there's Rainbow Execution. If you guys didn't notice, Malifestro's back from vacation, even though he probably from the looks of it from past few weeks, I think Malifestro actually trades better on a boat in the middle of the ocean, to be honest with you, when he's chilling. So maybe it's mind over matter, mood over matter. But homeboy Mally this morning with his multi-grid setup with Rainbow Trends and the EMA Ripster Clouds, scalped the living hell out of Dutch Bros this morning and made quite a bit of profit on the scalp and called it live. So if you're fortunate enough to follow it in the Discord, he spoon-fed you that one. And so far, we're also talking alpha of the Dutch Bros orders. So if you guys have any Dutch Bros orders alpha, let me know. Right now, my current go-to is the frozen Kokomo. But you guys know me, I'm a coconut coffee degen. So anyway, moving on. Big time for review. I had some talks with my friend Pep, OG, friend of Stacks. We go back a bit, and he was quite shocked and quite impressed about how we called the BART top and the BART bottom to a T. And then I was like, hey, man, we also called the Channel Walker back in March, but it's been a minute. And I did a recap on this. I'll throw it up in the chat if you guys want to read it. I did a bit of a write-up on the Rainbow Theory, and it's one of those things. A lot of people like post this stuff for clout. I'm just posting this to preview. Like, I talk rainbows and sound crazy a bunch of times. It hits hard. So trust me, like I totally had tools that looked cool, but they didn't work. So we run the goofy ones that pay the bills, needless to say, and they have the alpha. But we called this top. We called the BART top, and we called that bottom to a T. What's up, Mim? And that's when I'm kind of going with the words in my head. There's Rainbow Theory, there's people talk, there's people that do hindsight. This is Rainbow Theory, this is actual Rainbow Execution, and you can go back and you can read through these. These are the timestamps of all the tweets. And if you go back and look through the Discord, you can see us talking about like, hey, I think this is a hairline. Hey, this is a Channel Walker. Heads up. We talked about this Channel Walker for a long time. And frankly, I'm like one of the most bullish guys year round on Ethereum. I got a ton of flack for warning that, like, hey, I think this is going to break out. And they're like, you can't be talking positive about, you can't be talking. I was like, this is clearly a channel walker. And if we keep going up at this angle, we're going to hit $200,000 per Ethereum by the end of the year. And as bullish as I am on Ethereum, that's not really possible. So we called that one. We grinded it out. We did our levels. Honestly, I thought the channel walker, if it fully bled out like some of the really, really ugly ones, I thought it was going to go down to here, but it didn't. But anyway, I'm rambling a bit, but wanted to show you guys, like, there's real stuff behind these rainbows. The market right now is really making me feel this one. This one was posted up. I wanted to show this real quick because this is what whales try to do. They try to get you to think everything's dead and done, and then the reversals happen, and then people make a bunch of fun memes. Bitcoin's been over for what, the 50th time. The market's been dead. Everything's over. We're still here. Presidents of the United States like know the word Satoshi. Like, it's crazy, and we're see some crazy stuff. But let me do a quick demo of this. I say demo. Let me run you through Ethereum, because right now we've got some big news. As much as I was like not crazy, but really into the Bitcoin ETF flows. Remember, I say remember, how could you forget? We hit here, and this was the ETF approval that we knew the due date. Everyone was speculating. We posted it in the Discord forever. Like, this is the date. Gensler has to say yay or nay. And honestly, I was like, man, it's probably 50-50. I'm not really leaning towards it. Dude passed it. I say he passed it. He delegated it to someone else, and they passed it, which basically means he passed it but didn't want to talk about it. And we shot up, and we did pink candles, white RSI, and we rotated, and we formed this perfect Bart hairline. And if you get the runner bot running, H4, we got a rainbow rotation on an order block. We hit the reversion band. We rotated and bled out, made this perfect Bart. RSI rotation from white to orange to yellow, red. And then that faded out. And then we had the HMA cross. Typically on these Barts, I kind of look at them at like 1 hour and 2 hour, try to get the top in a little cleaner. But you get these gaps where, frankly, people say like everything's priced in. This one I don't think was priced in. I don't think people were really prepared. And if you're curious why I call them Barts, it looks like the hairline of Bart Simpson. If you don't know who Bart Simpson is, you're going to have to Google that one. It's a long story. But we formed these up, and this was clear textbook, and everyone was in absolute euphoria about the Ethereum ETF approval. Sorry, I had to turn the music back on. I get thrown off when it's dead silent. And as awesome as this was, people didn't expect it, and whales got left in the dust who were sidelined, and they didn't want to be sidelined, and we formed this perfect Bart into resistance, and it faded, and the volume down here died off. So tooted the horn and said, hey guys, set yourself up. This is a Bart. And I talked about it for a very long time. If you go back and look at the tweets, like, we were talking about it right about here, probably May 25th, 24th. We started saying, hey, this rocketed up and it stopped at a key resistance point, which is this order block here. And it's rolling over like a Bart. As awesome as this pump is, you have to be careful, because this type of stuff can retrace like 30% in a few weeks. And we called it. Hey, we started breaking. We started getting whale prints here in clusters moving down. Down we went. And by the time the Bart fully played out, you got to remember, sometimes these Barts, they go up and they come straight back down and they look like a perfect Bart. More often than not, the front side is what looks perfect. That's the key to get me involved with like calling a Bart. This vertical shot up, then the flat hairline. Oftentimes they can bleed for like months, and that's kind of what this one did. Not necessarily months and months and months, but we grinded back through, and the whales brought the ship back to the dock. So everyone who didn't hop on this fun ride, they got their tickets to come back and hop on the boat. And boy, oh boy, did we hit liquidity. We wicked into it multiple times. Chart Simpson. What's up, R&R? Let me check up the HMA. I think it's the 125. Yeah, it's the 125 HMA. It's what we default. Shout out Blake. And by the time we got to about this area here, Crypto Twitter decided to start telling everybody that it's over. Crypto's over. Game over. Pack it up. ETF was a fail. Vitalik's awful. Dude, we got bottom signals. R&R trades. Good question. Do you know what you're doing? No, this is actually this is for educational purposes only. It's not to be used for financial advice. And this, you're actually logged into an art stream. This has nothing to do with trading. So we're painting colors on the chart. And even if you were to mistake this for financial advice, you should consider it god-awful financial advice. But anyway, added, protected, we bled back down, and lo and behold, you see all these pivots here. You notice I draw these order blocks myself. I use the little triangle tool. You can do the triangle tool where it extends right. That's how I draw those. And I just do green, like no border. I just draw them all over the place. But we have 3 automated order pivots here. This is clearly support. And you can see where it's tested, 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 tested. It's got clear support, and we see this. And there's rhyme to the reason. I don't draw these order blocks, the algorithms do. Those algorithms took a very long time to code. And anyway, the point being is, I knew here, let me move Barty along. I knew with this Bart, when we formed here, I was like, hey, that's level 1 for support. That's level 2 for support. That's level 3. But that's really the full cat and caboodle retrace. That's the one that's got the stack. That's the one that set the low before. And lo and behold, we hit it. And frankly, I did not buy the wicks. I was wanting to see what the reaction was going to be. And that's what I played. And I re-entered right around... It was right around 3,000. And we were watching this in the Discord, and I was pinging Pixa to see if he was paying attention, because he normally is. And there you go. We started getting signals. This is looking at it on the 2-hour. Rainbow Theory bottom signal. We hit the order block. We got runner bot bottom, and we got an RSI bottom print as well. Let me turn the RSI prints back on. Was it 4-hour? I think was the RSI. Yeah. So we got an RSI bottom, runner bot bottom. So there's confluence there on an order block. We're wicking into liquidity. The RSIs were hitting pink, and then we broke through the HMA. And when we really broke through the HMA and these colors started rotating to red, which is the weakest color, that's when I just said, okay, I'm going to re-add. This would have been the really, really degen area where I'd have to protect myself. But once I saw the rotation where I thought I had a floor, I was going to ride it back up. And why? Because those ETFs are coming live soon. And people ask, hey, are the ETFs bearish? Are they bullish? Are they bearish? You can debate that all day. I don't really know. This is an art channel. But I will say this, Mt. Gox does not have any Ethereum to sell. They got Bitcoin to sell, but they don't have Ethereum. So that's where I'm at. My entry's here, my re-entry. Dudes, I'm in the mode where I just keep buying support on spot, and I'm not losing a wink of sleep. That's where I'm at with life. And it's really, really boring, but the Q4 trades that we were doing, where we were just doing multiples on, like, say, and just trading the living crap out of that on low time frames. I'm not low time frame trading right now. The colors aren't right for me personally. Some people are doing well, but like, we aren't doing these crazy runs anymore where Sol just goes on a 900% tear for months. That's not happening. We're in Chop City. And until Bitcoin and Ethereum get their stuff together, I'm not really looking forward to that. And I'm going to be much slower. I'm going to be looking at the H4 and the dailies. And I'm just going to keep buying support and deploying capital. You know, I'm a full-time engineer. I run Rainbow Trends. I have other capital flows that come in. We got bot trading, so all that types of stuff. So I'm not all in, all out, you know. And that's kind of like what I'd advise anybody. Stay away from leverage. You want to be really, really boring and make it, just keep DCAing into Bitcoin. Go look at DCAing. Even at the worst times, you can eventually make it with that. So, but anyway, if you want to be degen, keep an eye on these colors, get your proper rotations. You can tag these entries. FOMO tells you to buy the hairlines. Whale theory tells you to protect your butt. And there's good reasons. A 30% hairline cut is big and can hurt. So you got to chill, check your emotions. But that's where we're really at with it. Like I said, Channel Walker breakout. We protected ourselves out. These things, channel walks in the past, man, when they're on lower cap coins, man, they bleed sometimes 60%. So you just got to be really cognizant. We got a textbook BART Simpson top, color rotation, RSI top, runnerbot top, HMA cross. I've got every single check mark I can teach you guys about BARTs. And I've got the bottom, which is the opposite side. Order block support. Get his pants out of the way. Runnerbot bottom, RSI bottom, HMA cross, color rotation. That is an awesome question, JZHU. So the whole moving average is a really weird EMA. So if I turn on like EMAs, it's not an EMA, my bad. These are like EMAs. Whole moving average has got a weird nature to it. But what it's really, really good at is checking yourself on tops. So what I really like to see is this whole moving average. I call it karate chop. You set up your hairline and then this HMA just cuts right through it. And that's really telling me like, hey, I need to pay attention. If I'm not already paying attention to the runner bot telling me and the RSI bot telling me like, hey, this is a top. Anytime I see pink candles or RSI prints that high, I get real skittish because the odds of continuation are very, very slim. Very, 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 very slim. So keep that in mind. And the same thing here. Right around where that HMA came down and karate chopped when I was thinking a bottom was forming, that's when I got long. So not the most sniper bottom wick catch ever, but right now I'm up 14% and comfy. Yeah. All this stuff is emotions, man. Like you don't want to buy bottoms, you want to sell bottoms, and you want to buy tops. So I look for a confluence, right? The more things I can stack to say, hey, I think this is a bottom, the better my odds are that my entry is correct. Same thing with the tops. The more things I can stack, right? That's why you see me get really boring when we're grinding in the middle and I don't have things on my checklist with like Rainbow Theory tools. That's why I get not boring, but like I don't move as much. I'm just chilling because I don't want to mess with it because it's not as easy. Selling pinks is like cheating. Buying yellows and whites is like cheating. It's my odds are much higher. I'm going to catch a reversal here than try to scalp out this chop. Now, some dudes trade on like the 5-minute candles and have these like tools super tuned in. That's totally a thing. That's just not a thing for me. So anyway, moving on. And that's where we're at now. We're here. We got an RSI top. We don't have a runner bot top. We're in the dead center of this. We're in the middle of the reversion bands. You know, I don't know. But next week, we're likely getting the Ethereum ETFs actually becoming tradable. So if you think RNC versus runner. What's up, Melly? We covered your trade earlier. I mean, if we get ETH flows in, I think it's going to be bullish. Obviously, people buying, and then that's going to send you up here. If we can break through 4,000, so be it. But if we don't, you just got like a really, really nice take profit area. Until then, though, whatever. Chill out. We're up 13% on spot. We're comfy. Comfy. Some of the dudes actually, Pixa got in lower than me. If you caught the double pivot as your entry, you're up like 20%. So I'm just chilling. But anyway, moving on. So if you guys haven't noticed, I don't know how to explain this. This is what Coinbase decided to do Q3 2024 with Ethereum ETFs launching. This is what they went with, and I don't know how to explain this, because as a PopCat guy, I want PopCat on Coinbase, but this is what they did.
When you posted Mr. Miggles' afternoon snack, he got lots of love. But then Miggles started popping up in other places. Mr. Miggles was going viral, and at first it was fun. But then it kept going. They were making Mr. Miggles say things Mr. Miggles wouldn't say, making Mr. Miggles lick things Mr. Miggles wouldn't lick, using Mr. Miggles to sell things that Mr. Miggles couldn't sell. And guess who reaped the rewards? Not Mr. Miggles. They used his content to boost their algorithms. Miggles drove the traffic, but Miggles missed the income. And the internet that should reward making things totally sidelines the creators who make it possible. But if Miggles had started out on chain, then he could control his content. And everyone could know that he is the real Mr. Miggles. And he could get paid directly. And isn't that what it should be? An internet by creators for creators that rewards the creators who create the creative creations we love.
So I don't really, I don't know what to say about this. I can get trying to get creative content locked into your wallet, but that was weird. But as you can tell, Coinbase is seriously behind Miggles. I don't know. I really don't know what to say. All I know, Coinbase just didn't do this with an intern. They've got serious funding behind it. And as much as I looked at it and wanted PopCat and saw this, I'm afraid I faded Miggles on Ethereum swaps. Because apparently I should have just said, hey, I need to long Miggles because Coinbase is behind it, and that's a 3,000% run on a chart. So we're up like 600% on the PopCat entries from months ago. Miggles just did 3,000. So I don't know. I really don't know. Maybe it spawns into other things. Maybe they keep it branded under Miggles. I don't know. It's creepy. It's a weird looking cat. Moving on. That one hurts to watch because that looks lame. I say looks lame. That looks like whatever chart. Well, even whatever. Its number go up. I don't even know what to say, but I had to bring it up because apparently I faded Miggles, and that's 3,000% gain. So anyway, that's fun. Missed out on those gains, but moving on back to Ethereum, back to my guys. Shout out Farside Investors. If you haven't noticed, they inflows have been quite spicy, very spicy. Not to say we're on a super long streak, but this is starting to turn into a very, very decent streak with not the days being like 20 million. These are actually pretty big. Yesterday was a little bit of a slowdown at 53. We'll see what today's numbers come in. These are actually kind of weak. Fidelity 2.8 2 days in a row is weird, but we'll see. a lot of eyes are on Ethereum, and where that's going to go. And Farside right now is getting ready for the Ethereum ETFs, which is cool. And if you've noticed, the fee wars have come out, and they've been updating what the fee structure is going to be. Now, it reminds you, this is kind of nerdy, but what the SEC decided was you can have Ethereum ETFs and you can have staking, but you can't give the staking rewards back to the clients that own the asset. So what this means is all of these institutions, BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise, 21 Shares, they're going to be holding your Ethereum for you and staking it. And they're going to be staking tons of it. What's that mean? That they're going to make the money and pocket the Ethereum that they're getting from staking. You won't get it, but you get access to custodial security, whatever. My point is, these fees are going to be lower. I don't know if they are actually lower, but they have the opportunity to be zero. These guys can stake your Ethereum and get it to charge zero fees. And maybe we get there one day and they just pocket the percentage that is from staking and call it a day. But right now, the fee wars have started. Grayscale came out and they were originally 0.25 on the mini ETF. The full size one's a very, very high fee. They want to move you over to this one, obviously. Then they came out today and knocked it down to 0.15. So Grayscale's mini Ethereum Trust will have the lowest fee structure. I don't really think 0.2% is really anything worth worrying about. 2% definitely, but yeah, check that out. These are coming live. If you remember last time when the Bitcoin ETFs were flowing, we didn't really have a day yet of when it was supposed to happen. But the one thing I do remember is once these fees started getting announced, it came pretty soon. So I'd imagine early next week, if not just next week, is when this stuff's coming. That's what a lot of stuff's happening. Also, speaking of the Ethereum flows, if you guys remember, we were covering that the German government was absolutely dumping confiscated Bitcoin back on the market. Something like $200 million a day for multiple days. They killed their wallet as they wanted to and planned to. The wallet went to zero. And they have no more Bitcoin to sell. So it was awesome. And what was kind of funny, I think it was Pixa in the Discord to post it. Someone actually sent $3 worth of Bitcoin back to their address and inscribed it, have fun staying poor. Just fun. Very fun. Anyway, moving on, since we're talking countries, we can go back to America. If you don't know, Doppel's become a Polymarket degen. God knows there will be some signs. There will be some stuff he buys, I'm sure, that's going to be awesome. Maybe a Generac powered Jeep. We'll see. But check it out. If you haven't checked them out yet, Polymarket is actually turning really fun, polymarket.com. And you get to actually bet who's going to be the president, which is pretty cool. There's a whole bunch of other stuff, but the whole almost ending of his run, if you can't tell, I'm trying not to get my account perma-banned with saying the wrong thing at the wrong time. Certain words are buzzwords, and we don't want to say those. Very fortunate he's alive. I don't want anybody to ever go through that the wrong way. Shook up the markets, for sure. Shook up a lot of things. And then Biden himself is still struggling internally with his own party, wanting him to step aside and move Kamala up. As of today, or this week, he announced he has COVID again, and you're just seeing everything from the Democratic side that's not directly inside his party. One saying he's going to leave, he's stepping down, and then he's saying he's staying, whatever. And every little step of the way, you're seeing these bets change, because especially if you bet just strictly on who's going to be the Democratic president, these things are going all over the place. But it's interesting to see. As of right now, Kamala's got way more percentage odds of winning over Joe Biden, which is kind of interesting. So it's looking like maybe it's going to happen. The news stories have just been absolutely crazy, but Anyway, moving on. If you didn't know, Senator Menendez officially convicted for taking bribes in gold and cash. This is one of those senators that said Bitcoin is the ideal choice for criminals and you shouldn't have it. All while he was stacking stolen bars of gold in his house. I think in the walls is what they busted him on. He threw his wife under the bus and tried to blame her for it, but like you can't do that. And frankly, like some of the gold bars were like stuff that was like stolen in robberies, and then they were bribed him with it. And it's the dumbest thing because you have to be an idiot. Like, if you guys don't know, if you happen to get like a gold bar, you can't just go sell that. Like it will get flagged. You will get government agencies like coming to check you out. You can't just go do that. You can sell jewelry and stuff like that, but like you show up like with a freaking bar of gold, it's not going to happen. But anyway, I love poetic justice, and this was one of them because this is a guy who talked trash about crypto, about being something for people, for criminals, and then he's literally shoving gold in his ceiling. But back to the market, back over here. If you don't know, my guy Pep, we were talking about, he's starting to post actual rainbow charts. I love seeing rainbow charts on Discord that are Twitter that are not mine. But he's starting to wake back up on Sol. And we can look at the Sol chart. You guys have known my take on Sol is very, very boring. I look at it on a much higher time scale than all you degens do. And since Malifester and all them sniped the absolute bottom, and I didn't want anything to do with it because I don't like Alameda, and Alameda was tied to FTX, and FTX was heavy Sol. You know me. I like all-time high order blocks, and I like seeing whales karate chop through them with serious stones and serious strength. And the Sol whales went all the way from the nether regions of like $8 all the way back up to the tip of the order block, 2,600% gains, and then the colors rolled over. We had a rotation. So what does that tell me? That's not Kobe style. Kobe says job's not done. Work through. This was get to the end of the race and give up. And until, and I still think like long-term Sol probably breaks an all-time high. I definitely think that's going to happen. Until then, I don't want to touch this thing. And I tell people, and I was telling Pep, I was like, hey, like Sol looks cool, but like we need to pay attention to Ethereum in my opinion, because that's got the ETF. But like this just looks like a range, right? Dude, that's a 45% haircut. It's a big deal if you go up 2,500% and pull back 50%. That's a ton of money if you rode it all the way up. The point is, I want to be lazy. I want to be protected. I don't want to run 25. I don't want to run 90% all the way back up to all-time high and give up. And that's what they did. So I'm not interested in Sol. I had some left. I sold it somewhere around in here. I don't remember where. I've been tagging along the way. I didn't get the Pico top. But like, I'm interested when it breaks 265, 260. Print some candles up there. Hold it. Don't give me a wick. Close some candles. Get some volume impulses. And we can talk. And frankly, I don't even think you need to set a reminder. Twitter will be unbearable. My entire Twitter page will be nothing but Ansem. And when you see nothing but Ansem and you see Sol over 260, probably time to get back in. But until then, I'm going to go look at other things. Or maybe I should be looking at what's the next cat meme that Kraken's going to do. Maybe they're going to return fire from what Coinbase did with Miggles. I don't know. But anyway. What about Gens? Let me catch up on this. That's not a great reason not to buy Solana, bro. You missed a great trade from the bottom, too. Yeah, there's stuff I just don't want to deal with. Sometimes it's for the right reasons, sometimes it's for the wrong reasons. I really hate Alameda. They destroyed a lot of lives, and Alameda still had bags of Sol. That's why it wasn't for me, personally. But anyway, moving on. Stiff Jello, what's up, my guy? We can move to Zcash. I think Zcash is the future of finance. Not really. I think Zcash has got serious problems, but I think, by God, you might have finally found a bottom. Maybe. And maybe this is the accumulation range on privacy coins. It finally did a reversion band bounce from edge to edge. I call those like the yin yang trades. I haven't seen those in a very long time, frankly, on Zcash, and we got one, and I'm interested to see if it can break out. I know our guy Nexus Blade Runner, much love Nexus, he's been hitting these along the way, and he had some like 18 sub $19 entries on it, and I think the dude legit got the Pico bottom. If not, he was below like 21. I'm personally scared of it right now because when it's doing this type of stuff, it's really easy for me to trade. It does really, really big dedicated swings, and it sticks to them, and you can trade them on like the H2, H4. This has just been downwards trop, and I don't like playing with this. But to me, it looks like it's starting to potentially form a bottom. But at the same time, this has been death. Sol's been up, right? So like there are easier things to trade. This is not an uptrend. You're playing with something that's in a downtrend. I'd rather go play with Ethereum, which is in an uptrend and is hitting ETF approvals and likely to go forward, right? So that's kind of like where I'm at with it. But speaking of Zcash, our guy Nexus, speaking of, and I guess technically Josh, because he's baiting me with Zcash and post about from Kraken. Pep asked me in a DM what I thought about a coin called Pirate. I don't know about you. I didn't know Coinbase had a token called Pirate. And there's not a lot of data on it because it hasn't been going long. But, and you can see the machine learning reversion bands are trying to hang with this thing. But hell, since Pep asked me about it, I think it's up 40%, 30%. Either way, there's a Coinbase coin called Pirate that's on their exchange, and I've never heard of it before. It's maybe worth paying attention to. Maybe this thing goes. I don't know. I don't know a single thing about it. But he was asking me about it, and it's already kind of up from 163% from the bottoms. Maybe this goes. I don't even, like I said, I don't know what Pirate Nation is. I know there was like an R coin, and this was like R or whatever. R. Yes, there it is. Pirate chain. There's a pirate chain, but forget the pirate chain. That's R. We want the one that's actually the pirate ticker. That's what he was asking about, and it was on. So this is another thing that gets my attention. When a coin is on Coinbase, but it's not on Binance, it's worth maybe paying attention to. It's kind of weird. Coinbase is normally late to the party, but they're ahead of this one. And these type of things, they're new. They got low caps. You're going to see crazy paints, and there's potential to do like really, really big scalps if you can trade these right. These are 30, 40% swings. It's not for me. These are one of those ones where, hey, I think it's goofy. I'll grab a moonbag support and just let it ride, right? That's kind of the idea. But anyway, moving on. If you guys hadn't seen this post from our guy Dime, our much beloved crypto paradigm, he goes, can't say I've charted this before, but on the high time frame, it's very interesting. Someone could probably make an oscillator out of it. Crypto USDT.T divided. So he's saying is the USD Bitcoin dominance divided by actual Bitcoin price created this top and bottom chart, which is kind of interesting. In 2018 nuke, the COVID wick, and the FTX bottoms all had kind of the same signal. And it's July 7th. It's been a minute, and I came back to it, I think earlier this week, and I went ahead and coded it and turned it into kind of like a preliminary oscillator. And if you don't know, that's one of Dime's cats. So there's a cat tax for all you guys. I love Dime's cats, and one day, maybe we can get a rainbow bandana on them. If you guys want, I just went ahead and threw up a beta test oscillator, and I just put it in the chat. If you guys want to check it out, take a look. If you got any, it's by no means final. But if you guys have any input, please let me know. I'm going to clean up the visuals on it. I was just making sure I got the raw data right to kind of align with how he was looking at it. And so far, it looks pretty good. But anyway, moving on. Another thing I noticed, I learned this week. Apparently, Generac licensed the Chevy 454 engine from GM. And they proceeded to bore it out, put their own heads on it, convert it to natural gas, and put it in generators in people's houses. And this thing is actually 543, I believe, cubic inches. It's 9 liters. And it's a GM with a forged bottom end. And I started watching a YouTube show that got their hands on one of these. And he's trying to put it back into like a hot rod car and turn it around. If you guys don't know, our guys trade Generac all the time. Doppel's a big fan of that company, so we make a lot of Generac jokes. Well, this is actually like really, really cool Generac from my side of the things. This is cool for all the wrong reasons. This is probably one of the biggest V8s made. It's got to be. There's very few things over 500 cubic inches, and this is like 543. But anyway, I'm really interested to see what happens because this should technically bolt into multiple GM applications. You could technically even put this in like a 2002 like Chevy Avalanche, and it would just be awesome. The only thing is it's set up for natural gas, so you'd have to figure out how to convert the intake, which is a bit of a thing. But moving on to Generac, the actual ticker. I say moving on. We haven't looked at this in a while. Oh, wow. Wow. Now, we just had the hurricane, which we didn't really... I don't think we had one last year, if I recall correctly. Kill me in the comments if I'm wrong. We're actually above this order block, which is really big. And that's like the bottom. So... wow, this has actually got way more of my attention now. I haven't zoomed out and looked at this in a bit. I was more focused on the 9-liter GM engine you can buy. So if we're looking at this, that's just like 26% to the bottom of that range, 60% there. And if you start looking at the all-times, that's like 130 and like 228. I don't know if that's all-time, but it probably is. Yeah. This is interesting. This may be one to watch out because if you want to talk like Wyckoff accumulation ranges, not that we're Wyckoff traders, but we definitely like the rhymes and the reasons of that stuff. This is clearly a range. Is it perfect? No. Is it? None of them are, but May, spring, sign of strength, whatever. Thing is, you start printing above the all-time high, like horizontal, you're really looking for a good time. So anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. Sorry I started late. I broke a battery terminal on the Toyota, and I had a hell of a time repairing it today, let alone trying to start it to get it to the store. But anyway, we are going to hop over to the Rainbow Trends Discord, open up the round table, and finish out the rest of the night there. So thanks for coming out. Sorry for starting late. Thanks for showing up. If you could, please like, comment, subscribe. It really helps the algo. And like I said, if you go and check us out at Rainbow Trends, the link for the Discord community is at the top, and I can copy that link address and drop it here. There you go. Anyway, thank you guys. I'll talk to you in a bit in the Discord. And there's no paywalls or anything there, so feel free to click anytime.